I think there are a lot of people who really do think like scamming your way to the top is exactly the same as earning your way to the top. Like maybe 10% of people, 8% of people. Well, it's not that high a percentage, but in my opinion, since it's such a vaunted viewpoint, I don't know if vaunted is the right word there. It's such, yeah, I think vaunted, because vaunted is kind of like, you know, you're bragging about some dumb bullshit, right? Essentially. It's just, yeah, it's surprising with how fucking obviously wrong it is, in my opinion. But I don't know, man. It's like you know, like there's like people who like they just think like the ends justify the means, like unironically. Like, you know, when you'll be like, oh, this guy's like a real piece of shit. Like, he's fucking done all this nasty stuff. And they'll be like, but look, he's successful. And you'll be like, what? I don't know. I think it's like, there's certain people who will like say that. I don't know. I remember once, like growing up, once my dad were talking about something. And I was like, yeah, this guy did some scummy shit. And my dad was like, well, but look how rich he is. And I was like, that's got to be the most brain damaged take I've ever heard in my life, dude. And I was like, what the fuck did you just say? And he's like, well, but yeah, I mean, there must be something to it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying it's not effective. I'm saying it's bad. I'm saying it's shit. It is morally empty, you know? It is morally bankrupt. I don't know. Fucking, I'm not good with these philosophizing words or nothing. It just means, essentially, I'm just saying the dude's a dickhead, you know? Like, and just because he's rich doesn't change the fact that he's a dickhead, you know? I don't know. It's weird when people argue about that stuff with me. I guess I realize that we're like so fundamentally like have different values as humans, where I'm just like, you're just, and I truly believe the other person is completely just wrong, like objectively in these scenarios. If this ever comes up, I'm like, you're fucking wrong, and you don't understand how like a society works because you think it's all like dog eat dog. Which, don't get me wrong, there's always going to be a certain element of that. Like, you don't understand that in like, you know, a society with like a decent amount of abundance, like working together can actually create like better outcomes for pretty much everyone. It's people who genuinely don't believe that, which always shocks me. I'm like, really? You just think? They're like, nah, only way stuff's gonna work out is if I look out for me and me alone. And I'm like, well, to each his own. But that ain't my MO. Anyway, I imagine, to get back on track, it's the people who think that who are the same ones who get excited when someone leaves a game and they get some unearned MMR. Am I reaching? I might be reaching, guys.
Our forces are under attack.
Where'd my queen go? Oh, fuck, get back there, honey. I like that. I started calling my queens honey, apparently. I didn't even know that was a thing I do. Apparently it is, guys. Honey, get back in the wall off. Alright, I'll make some more lings. I think we're gonna run across.
Metamorphosis complete. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Oh, shit. I'm not sure. I'm actually gonna build more drones right now. Roach speed. Trying to get up to 60 drones. I have a feeling we're probably gonna see oh, this kind of looks like Mutabuild, which is actually really good for me. Hopefully he's distracted by that enough. He doesn't realize these guys are wandering in. Alright, it's just a roach war, guys. Nothing crazy. I was planning to do an attack, but since I just started droning, I'm kind of thinking maybe no? I don't know. Dude, I thought I built more overlords than this. Apparently not.
Metamorphosis complete.
He's going pretty hard. I mean, I think we have more roaches than him right now. I don't think we can kill him, though.
Our forces are under attack.
No roach speed for him.
Our forces are under attack.
Oh, run, run, run. I wanted to get the Ravages.
Metamorphosis complete. Mineral field depleted.
That's what I call a concave, ladies and gentlemen. He's pretty committed. Oh! What are you sub 50? 48 drones? Oh no, he's 57. I guess I am at 71 drones with a 4th base up. I mean, he is pretty screwed. Oh, he didn't even make +2. Ooh, ouchies. Okay, yeah. That was all in. I was like, damn, man, he breaking through. This is scary. Pig calling his queen Tiny Neuro gives him paid maternity leave, talking about morals. That's it, man. We care about our soldiers, not like some cocks. I hate when people give me unearned MMR. I know there's an ass whooping in my future. That's another problem, Edeliav. Yeah, because it does put you a bit higher. You're like, shit. Yeah, 2-1 kicked in at the end. I don't know at what time during the fight 2-1 kicked in, but 2-1 kicked in at some point. You can't really gain or lose MMR. MMR is a range that estimates the skills you have learned. You worded that wrong. No picks Cougar. What you mean is you can't gain or lose skill. You can't gain or lose skill. Yeah. You objectively can gain or lose MMR. That's what this is. But what you're trying to say is you can't gain or lose skill, and MMR just tries to estimate that skill. So whether you accidentally get some free MMR or you lose a bunch of MMR from some bad luck, it doesn't change your skill level. Your skill will always go back to, it'll always go back to a certain range because that's where it belongs, right? Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it's like where people get really fucking hung up on like, I'm almost GM for the first time in my life. I'm almost Diamond 1. Oh my God, whatever the promotion is. And then they're like, I worked so hard for that MMR and then I lost 5 games in a row. How will I ever get back there? And it's just like, well, if you actually got the skills to get there, then you will get there again. People get this very like emotional, imaginary idea of what ladder is and how you perform on it. And it's like, if you have this, like you'll get back there, It's like, don't get me wrong, people, I think it's just a short-term viewpoint people often have because they're like, I'm almost GM. And I'm like, you don't want to obsess over like, if you've got a peak, like people will, okay, I think the way to fix this, actually, I haven't talked about this in a while, but I used to talk about this a lot when I was coaching tons of people. I was like, okay, I would go, what's your MMR? People would go, oh, I'm 3350. And then we'd log in to do coaching and I'd be like, it says you're 2900. And they're like, oh yeah, I had a bit of a loss streak. And I'm like, so was 3350 the highest MMR you ever got? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, that's not really your MMR. I'm like, okay, your MMR is like 300 less than that. Like I would always say, whatever your highest peak is, if you take maybe 300 off that number, that's your actual MMR. So if you're at 4,600 and you're seeing other 4,600 players are getting into GM and you're like, I might get to GM, you should realize if 4,600 is the highest you've ever got, your actual MMR is 4,300. You're nowhere near GM. You might get ranked in GM one day on a win streak, but you will probably lose it pretty quickly. So if you instead change your goal to ranking GM one time to getting to a peak MMR of 4,900, where your actual MMR is 4,600 or whatever, then you'll actually solidly be in GM and you won't have to obsess over every win and every loss. You have more of like a long-term outlook. It's just going to make StarCraft way more satisfying.
Serve the hive.